happy, merry holiday Christmas time, yay of year. Whovians, welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
This is our yearly Christmas. Let me back up. Our now, again, yearly Christmas review of the Doctor Who special of from the BBC. Now that Chip Nall is out, Moffat has returned for one engagement only. So he says. And this
He'll be back.
He'll be back. And this one is called Joy to the World.
Yes. We got the payoff at the end.
Yes, yes. One of the things we've been enjoying about Skeleton Crew is that they actually say the name of the episode in the episode.
It's not some random soliloquy to a dream. What does that have to do with the episode?
Right, exactly. Okay, so we have missed the Christmas specials.
Yes.
And I'm really happy that once again we got a Christmas episode. We got the Church on Ruby Road last year, introducing us to Ncuti and Millie Gibson, and kind of telling their kind of origin story as Doctor and Companion. And then this year we get this it's a one-off. It's a one-off episode. It's not really. There is stuff that's going to affect further down the road storytelling. Yeah. Emotional storytelling.
Yeah. Because he's on his own now.
Again.
This is the first episode that we get of him being on his own, and that's a Moffat and not
Davies.
And Davies, thank you. Like Chibnall, no. Kind of thing where they give you at least one, if not two or three, in between, and maybe you get introduced to the new companion somewhere back here, which is what happened this time. We got introduced, as far as we know, it's the monk, priest, whatever, from the planet that...
the Vanguard
planet.
Yes, we know that Vadara is coming, and that's the next thing we'll be uploading is probably the teaser.
Yeah. Right? So that's very much we've seen that happen many times where you kind of get introduced to the companion, but they're not joining yet, and then you get a couple of the Doctor trying to figure out where he is now in his life, in his
travels,
in his new body, persona, whatever, and then we'll get the next one, so the next companion.
This episode has like a couple different layers to it, but when it comes to that particular subject, the Doctor relearning that he needs to have somebody after he let Ruby stay home.
Yeah.
And him being forced to stay a year in the hotel room that Joy stayed in, and getting to spend time with Anita, who's the hotel manager of the hotel that she's staying in, and just a platonic friendship.
Yeah.
Something to remind the Doctor that he does like having people with him. He does need to have people with him.
Yeah.
And this particular Doctor really didn't have a chance to do that kind of soul searching after they did the bifurcation, the splitting between Tennant's 14th Doctor and then getting into 15th with Ncuti. And so having him have this year of learning that the companionship is important.
Yeah.
And especially around the holidays. But specifically for him, that he needs somebody to be there. That he actually yells at if the future version of himself that this is why people don't like you, because you don't have chairs on the TARDIS and like so it was definitely that kind of thing, that heartfelt thing that Moffat always did with catastrophic earth-ending catastrophe on the horizon.
But now he's got to slow down. And
he's got to slow down and remember, and we're going to fall in love with some random person, random human, who ultimately is going to die. She didn't die in this episode. She didn't
die, thank God, because I liked Anita. She got a cool job.
Yeah. Another version of time travel being introduced in the show with the Time Hotel, and it's like an amusement park where you can go spend time, and they're playing on the premise of there's always that random door in a hotel room that you can never open because it's the actual other door to another room, but this time the other end of that door is this Time Hotel where people could go and see different places throughout Earth's history.
Right.
And we got to play with that a little bit with the first summit to Everest, the train,
the Orient
Express train. I don't know specifically who she is, but it gave like 1963, I think it was the year. So she was reading the Murder on the Orient Express on the Orient Express. She had a love letter to her wannabe girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically who that is. We had the older couple during the Blitz, the older rich couple during the Blitz. The world's coming to an end, because we always have to talk about the Blitz during Christmas, because that's just how they spent Christmases for several years.
Right, they're still a little traumatized.
Yeah. So we got that idea of being able to go visit other time periods as a fun amusement for those,
like a little vacation,
little vacations, which is really funny because we just spent 5 days on vacation in hotel rooms, going to places that don't really exist in the real world. We were in Vegas and Disneyland, so but with that aspect of storytelling, telling the story of Penelope from Bridgerton, it was Joy, Nicola Coughlin. She was I thought it was a very interesting choice to pick her to be in this episode, because it's a one-off, and I'd like to see her in more Doctor Who. Obviously, she's great.
Yeah.
But using her as the avatar for this entity to build a star as a weapon for the Vanguard group, and ultimately...
Or an energy source. I don't know if it was a weapon so much as just an energy source.
They were using the hotel to go back as far back as they could to install this atom that will eventually explode, but they need 65 million years, and so we get this fun romp through time when the Doctor is stationary and everything else that's going on around him is dealing with time travel and going to different places and stuff, which is kind of a fun, different thing to do when it comes to Doctor Who, because Doctor Who, it's about time travel forward and backwards in time and dealing with crises and whatever. But this time, the Doctor is stationary; he can't move, and everything around him is what's time traveling.
Right.
I want to get into that much deeper in a minute. There's a theme that we've been kind of picking up on. Having Nicola be Joy, to be able to be this bubbly, innocent, fun-loving person, but then when it comes out, the reason she was staying in this I think it was actually a pretty nice hotel.
It was a giant hotel room for London.
For central London, let me tell you. And it was well kept, and Anita was great. But the the reason she stays in this crummy hotel is because her mother died on Christmas alone during COVID.
Yep.
So now Moffat's just going to pull on all of our heartstrings because we're still dealing with all of the outcome of that.
Yeah.
And the idea that Nicola, am I saying it right? Nicola, right?
Nicola.
To have her be able to play this fun, bubbly version, the robotic version that's being possessed by the briefcase, and then the shamefully angry version that the doctor pulls out to save her.
Yeah.
Is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she always, her just persona as an actress, or at least the roles that she gets, like in Bridgerton, she's very happy on the outside, but she's also kind of sad because, like, the one that she really likes doesn't necessarily,
right.
like her in the same way and everything. So she seems like a very kind of bubbly, and the way she dresses and everything, she seems like a very bubbly, fun person. But
right.
No one is the persona that they show to the world.
Right,
There's always way more going on, inside.
Right.
So yeah, that was a good. She's definitely a multi-layered person that you could kind of get into that with.
When the doctor was making fun of her and making her angry and her face changing and her lip quivering.
Yeah, that was good.
It was so well done.
the quivering, I was like, damn.
And then I just that whole sequence of freeing her from the case by building up all this pent up anger over the guilt that she's carrying for not going to be with her mom when she was sick. That whole scene is just rips your heart out because Moffat loves to do that. He loves to get this visceral feeling in you to actually make the stakes much more important than what is actually being shown on the screen.
Right.
Moffat has he did this with Sherlock. He did this with Dracula. He may not have the biggest budget for special effects, but he's able to do a lot more with just dialogue and scenes and stuff like that, where the stakes are built up so much more because of what's happened to the individuals in the scene. And now you are carrying this emotional stakes. So when the big thing happens, the big explosion, the big whatever, you can kind of allow your sense of disbelief kind of let go because you're openly crying because you're losing these characters.
Right. Or you're happy for them or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. The other character I wanted to talk about in this episode was Trev, who I don't know what he was at the Time Hotel. He just kind of was there, like just a member of the staff, and he came across very.
He's almost like a concierge, or just a personal butler. He's there to take care of whatever it is you need.
Yeah, he's played by Joel Fry. Now, Joel Fry is somebody that we fell in love with on
Our Flag Means
Death, which is a great show. You should watch it. Oh my God. And Joel Fry is great in that. And he's been in some other things that we've really liked. But that was the thing I wanted to point out the most, because that show just didn't get enough oomph behind it to stick around.
Everybody that loves it.
If you watched it, you loved it. And
it's like Firefly or Serenity, right? If you watched it and loved it, you continue to love it to this day, even though it was canceled 15 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the same thing with Our Flag Means Death. I mean, it was canceled a couple of years ago. People still dress as the characters at cons. Yeah. When the characters come to a con, everybody's, it's a big deal. So it's got a following. It's a good show.
It's a good show. And if you've never heard of it, you're welcome. But Trev gets absorbed by the star that's building in the suitcase, along with the Solarian who was trapped. The guy who first had the case of the first of the episode,
Yep.
Joy, and then Joy went and absorbed her mom. And so Trev's the one who had millions of years to be in the system and figure it out and like do all the math. And so it was Trev and Joy and the other members who had gotten absorbed by this thing that were the ones who saved the day.
Yeah.
This is the theme that's going on with this doctor, is that every episode, the big conclusion, the big solving of the mystery, the big thing to figure out to make sure that the big bomb doesn't go off,
right,
is always being solved by someone other than the doctor.
Yep.
It's not the doctor who's saving the day, it's humanity.
Yep. Yep.
And I find that A, very interesting, but B, very refreshing.
Yeah.
As much as we love Doctor Who and the Doctor coming in and being a superhero and saving everybody at the end of the day, having this idea of telling the story of this wandering traveler who inserts themselves into a person's everyday life and isn't really necessary, helps those who are there solve the problems themselves,
right?
Solve those problems for humanity to save the day, and then he's allowed to not be forgotten by any stretch of the imagination, but being able to
just
move on.
on. Yeah.
And I just it's just been like, it's not Time Lord victorious. It's not I'm gonna solve this with baling wire and duct tape.
Right.
You know, it's
and a banana.
Yeah, it's very much this. I really have been appreciating that Davies has this. It seems like mandate that every episode has to have the solution come from humanity.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but he and Moffat both touched on this during their time previously. I mean, companions or just people that they would come across would make these comments about, oh, you just come in and wave your magic stick around and solve everything and then leave, right?
Yep.
There were multiple times when people pointed that out. And I feel like at the time they probably were mandated that that's how it had to happen.
Right.
And so they were just going to throw it in, you know, okay, fine. The doctor's got to be the one to save the day. Cool. But I'm going to point it out.
Yeah.
If I'm not allowed to change that. And so I think that, especially with Disney, you know, you can say what you want about the Disney overlord, but in this instance, I feel like currently anyway, it is helping.
Yeah.
Because they have given a lot of money to have the show air on Disney Plus, and so the BBC's kind of doesn't have a choice but to let Disney or like let other people.
They've been a good partner so far, I think.
That's a good way to put it.
I think they've been a good partner. They have some things that obviously the Disney storytelling thing is a thing. I mean, we just spent 2.5 days at Disneyland,
right.
like living the Disney storytelling.
Yeah.
But and that is it's been if Disney's like, hey, we want to do this partnership, we're not taking it over, we're not doing anything, but if we have this partnership, we have some things that we want to see happen.
Yeah.
And the BBC, I know it's not a for-profit organization,
but they needed the money.
But they needed the help in the worst way.
Yeah, they were close to just canceling Doctor Who.
Well, they were close to just closing the doors.
Yeah.
Because they went in and just whoever took over the BBC in the late teens, early 20s, like just pooped the bed. Like they just, let's get rid of everything that brings people to the BBC.
Yeah.
And for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Like just if you one of the things that we have learned from Disney is if you cut the money, if you try to cut corners on storytelling or amusement parks or whatever, it's going to show.
Right.
And so when the BBC started cutting everything and started putting their fingers in every pie, they lost a lot of their audience. And having Disney come in and say, "Hey, we would like to be a partner with you. We would like to see XYZ," and BBC's like, "We'd like to see WXY." Hey, let's make that work.
Yeah.
Or you can do KLM and then MNLOP, however you want to do it. But yeah, I just really have liked the idea that humanity is saving the day as much as they can.
Yep.
Some fun little the Solarian, his story of I was awoken and was lost and I was
found my way out of the cave. Yeah.
I got a job. They gave me a job here, which they did. With Anita at the end, they offered her a job because she was running
and if you don't understand that, go back and watch the Rory Amelia Matt Smith. There's that.
Yeah,
you get that whole explanation of what was going on.
And that's a fun race to play with every once in a while. I don't want to be there all the time, but that's a lot of fun.
They are under the ground.
They are under the ground. They are the original humans, the original
Earthlings.
Earthlings. There we go. Mavity was mentioned.
Yes.
God, I want them to just have that be the running joke the entire time.
I think they're going to.
And at some point in time, the doctor has to go back and be like, Newton, no, it's gravity, not gravity. Like maybe that's what he does instead of Tennant's getting his prize and going by and getting the chance to say goodbye to everybody. That will be Chuti's way of going back and seeing. The dinosaur I found very interesting. Moffat loves playing with dinosaurs. He had a dinosaur in the first episode with Capaldi.
Yeah.
So that it was a T-Rex. So playing with that idea that is it the same T-Rex?
Right.
That would be very interesting.
Right. Because she did just kind of appear.
A big, beautiful woman. And then the shrine being built to the case. And him opening working his way back through everything, the taking the rope from the ascent on Everest, and then the Murder on the Orient Express and all that and all that stuff. That was awesome. But once they opened the shrine, and Joy takes it up the steps, I just want to point out. There's a locked door on one side and an open cave on the other side towards the sky with steps. Just go around and take the steps down and take the case.
But they don't know where it comes out at.
It's not a plot hole. It's just one of those the door's open on the other side. Why are we not? We have to do thrilling heroics.
No, you just have to spend the rest of eternity trying to figure out where the door is in time and space.
But her taking the star, absorbing it, and being there for everybody else, and then shooting the star off and having it be the North Star, and then everybody throughout the episode and Ruby. Lol looking at the same star, and then the Doctor realizes that's how we get Joy to the world.
Yes,
because it's Joy the entire time. She gets to save the world. They pan back, and it's Bethlehem.
Right.
0001.
It's 0000. He's just born. He's not one. He's being born.
Right.
He'll be one next year.
He'll be one, or he has already won.
No, because it's Bethlehem. The camels were there, so the three wise men were there. It was the birth, except he's not a year old yet.
Right. That's all right. It's all right.
It's 0000 point
00001. So
it
was a lot of fun with all of that stuff. We are now going to do the 40-second trailer that'll be the next video, but we haven't watched it yet. But it feels like that's coming soon. So we are excited for more Doctor Who. Let us know what you thought of this episode and our discussion about it in the comments down below. Please be nice, as a requirement around here. If you're on the Spotify feed, follow us here, share with your friends. If you're on the YouTube side, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Also share with your friends. And follow us on social media.
Social media.
Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok for another 37 days, 27 days, whatever, until they figure it out. We have been disconnected for the world, so we don't know if anything has been resolved. I doubt it. Christmas miracles don't happen. And until next time, cult members, good afternoon, good evening, and good night now.